Top agents to solve the case use disguise to disguise as 300 pounds of a large woman. FBI agent Martin is a first-class expert in disguise technology. He can use disguise easily to deal with an underground organization. Because of his excellent skills, his boss awarded him a task. The criminal Covey robbed a bank and took a large amount of cash. Although he was arrested 2 years ago, but he escaped from prison the day before yesterday. During that time, the police never found a large amount of money. They suspect the money may have been hidden in Covey's girlfriend, Shirley, but there was no evidence. So the boss sent Martin to investigate the matter. Shirley saw the news about Covey on TV, so she packs her bags and takes her son to her grandmother's house for shelter. When he received the news, Martin arrived at his grandmother's house early and observed her every move. The grandmother was a fat 300-pound woman. To install a bug in her house, Martin went to a great deal of trouble to install a bug in her house. He even saw some disgusting images. The day Martin learned from the surveillance camera, Grandma had to go away for 2 weeks, thinking that the opportunity had finally come. So he went to her house to look for clues while she was away. It so happened that Shirley called and said she was coming to stay with the family for a while. Martin didn't want to miss the opportunity, so he answered the phone in his grandmother's voice. He said he welcomed her. It doesn't matter if her grandmother is not there. Martin knows how to disguise himself. He and his colleagues quietly arranged to dress himself up. Not to mention the look. Shirley felt something was wrong when she saw her grandmother, but cannot say. After all, they hadn't seen or talked to each other for years. Martin was still scared and tried to get away with it. The mask almost fell off. The cooking almost took over the kitchen. Martin's disguise is full of holes, but all safe for now. But one thing led to another. The doorbell rings at night. Grandma's suitor comes to the door, looking at him with his hands and feet. Martin almost threw up his dinner. He throws him out of the house right away. When he thought he was safe from this ridiculous day, someone else came up to him. It turns out that the grandmother is a famous local nurse. She was in charge of a pregnant woman who was about to give birth. It was a case of the good coming and the bad coming. Martin was in a panic, but he couldn't show it. He had to deliver the baby. He asked for towels and hot water. All the tools were used. The baby was born safely with a lot of screaming. Now Shirley had no more doubts about her grandmother. Martin could see how relieved Shirley was, so he asked her about Covey in a subtle way. Shirley still didn't say anything. The next day, Martin woke up and found that his hood had fallen off. In order not to make a fool of himself, Martin hid, but he bumped into Shirley, who opened the door, so he lied that he was a repairman. That's how he got by. After the hood was fixed, Martin saw Shirley's son Trent sitting sullenly on the side. When he asked, he found out that he was being bullied in basketball. Martin couldn't stand to see his own kid being bullied. He grabbed the basketball and went to the court to avenge Trent's death. He dragged his fat body to do a reverse dunk. He stunned everyone there. Shirley was very grateful to him for this. The two of them are getting along better and better. This old lady is an old lady on the surface. In fact, she was an FBI agent. Martin, a young man, has been single for a long time. It is inevitable that the young Shirley will be tempted, so he invited Shirley and her son. He invites Shirley and her son out fishing. Trout loves this funny guy. The three of them got along well. They got along very well. After dropping off the mother and son at home, Martin was rushed by his boss. They had to solve the case faster. On Sunday, Martin went to church to attend the service. When they returned home, he was greeted by a surprise. His partner sees this as a good opportunity. They could take advantage of the crowds and look for clues. They found the dirty money under a pierced box. Shirley also happens to stumble upon it. They confronted each other. It turns out that Shirley was also a victim. Covey had tricked her into hiding the money in the box. She didn't know anything about the hidden money. She had nothing to do with the robbery. Martin was relieved because he was in love with Shirley. He didn't want the person he liked to be involved in the case. Martin kissed Shirley in the heat of the moment, but then the real grandmother comes back. Covey also appeared at the party. He used the gun he had to control everyone there. He came back to take the money. Martin saw his beloved one being held hostage. In a rage, he fought with Covey. During the fight, the holster on Martin's face fell off. Shirley and her son saw that he was the repairman. Both of them feel that they have been deceived. They were very disappointed in him. The police arrived and caught Covey. Martin's mission is complete. And now, all he needed was to ask for forgiveness from Shirley and her son. He went to church again. He apologized to Shirley for his deception. Although his identity was false, his feelings were real. The grandmother on stage was moved by his words. Both mother and son decided to forgive him too, and they formed a new family of 4.